FM.
Online at BBC Sports Scotland.
Your smart speaker.
And BBC Sounds.
This is Sports Sound from BBC Radio Scotland.
Scottish football lives here.
Good afternoon from Fir Park. Liam McLeod with Packie Bonner and Stephen Craigan, and we welcome listeners on BBC Radio Scotland FM and on Sounds, and of course at the website bbc.co.uk/Sports Scotland. It is Motherwell against Celtic. The two sets of players down there exchanging handshakes just now on a bitterly cold afternoon in North Lanarkshire. Slightly blustery as well, leaden skies above as these two go head to head. For the third time this season, Celtic have come out on top on both previous occasions, and that's no surprise because Motherwell are on their joint longest winless run against Celtic, and if they don't win this one, they will set a new record of dominance in this fixture. 33 games they've gone without beating Celtic since Louis Moult scored twice. The Steelmen came from behind to win 2-1 at Celtic Park. It was almost so long ago. Stephen Craigan probably played in the game. He's shaking his head. I would have to check though, as Celtic look to extend that and consign Motherwell to a 34th game without victory against Scotland's champions. And they come into it in poor form. Do Motherwell 1 win in 9. That was against Aberdeen. 10-man Aberdeen it was, albeit they were 1-0 up when the red card happened. And of course, without Stuart Kettlewell in the dugout for the first time after he resigned on Monday, Stevie Frail takes charge of the team. But Celtic unbeaten in their last 19 visits to Fir Park, and there's not too many bookmakers think that is going to come crashing down around the champions this afternoon. The sunshine trying to break through the clouds above. Celtic will kick off in the green and white hoops, going right to left towards the Davy Cooper stand. Motherwell towards the huge south stand end of Fir Park in the claret and amber. Callum McGregor there, 500th appearance for the club today, and he gets it from Luke McCowan and out to Taylor on this near side, and onto the touchline for Maida, and then to Hatate, who goes back to Austin Trusty. Callum McGregor, what a career in green and white hoops it has been for the now Celtic captain. Made his debut against KR Reykjavik in a Champions League qualifier almost 11 years ago now, after his loan spell at Notts County, where he was a teammate of Jack Grealish's back in those days. As Carter Vickers picks up and squares it to Trusty and out to Taylor on this near side. The Motherwell team: Balcom and Goal, O'Donnell, Gordon, Blaney, Coletta, Sparrow, Halliday, Thompson, Maswinisi, Nicholson, Armstrong. As Celtic come forward early in the box, Maida pulls it across. It's just behind Edan Kuhn. Breaks to Ralston, who's deputising for Johnston today. It's across and Maida scores! Incredible start! 52 seconds on the clock, and Dyson Maida heads the ball into the reverse right corner away from the grasp of Balcom. And this is oh so ominous for Motherwell. They've gone behind to the champions inside the first minute. Motherwell 0, Celtic 1, and Maida joins Kuhn at the top of the scoring charts for Celtic.
Oh, the perfect start, isn't it? You know, Celtic played initially down this left-hand side. Lovely play, interchanging passes. They get into Maeda down this left-hand side initially, and he plays that ball across almost to the penalty spot, evaded Adamida and Kuhn, and then the ball comes alive on the right-hand side. Maeda's in the perfect position in between the full-back and the centre halves, and a header back across the goalkeeper. I don't think the goalkeeper had any chance whatsoever. Really good finish, great header. Not something that you come accustomed to Adamida, to Maeda too often of scoring with his head, but it was a perfect header and the perfect start for Celtic.
Should Balcom have done better, Stephen?
I'm not too sure there's an awful lot he can do. I think he's left stranded because the defender in front of him was poor. But within that first minute, not one Motherwell player made a tackle or tried to engage with the Celtic player. They allowed him to take touches, move the ball freely, and you would have thought today of any days they would come out with a little point to prove, with a bite in their play and in their press. Far too passive. And when you play against a good side and you get in space and time, they're going to punish you.
That's a nightmare start for Motherwell. Celtic just continuing their domestic dominance, albeit it's not been quite as good from them away from home across all competitions. Just 1 win in 6 played away from Celtic Park recently, albeit does include Champions League matches. Maida turns it back down the line for Taylor, and then to Hatate, who knocks it back into his own half for Trusty. And Carter Vickers picks up right of the centre circle. Forward to McCowan, to McGregor into the centre circle for Trusty. There is 4 changes in total for Celtic from the side that lost at Villa Park the other night, 2 for Motherwell from the side that lost at St Johnstone. Of course, they've lost back-to-back games at McDermott Park, the first in the Cup, and then in the league last week as McGregor collects, and out to Ralston on the touchline and back to Carter Vickers. Packy.
Apart from the kick-off from the goal, they still haven't touched the ball. They haven't been able to get a tackle. Now Celtic are moving the ball off the first, second touch, and Maida just gives it away on just as I'm talking, but that was the Motherwell not being able, as Stephen rightly says, engage early on in this game.
Well, it's Celtic in possession again over on the right with Ralston getting a rare opportunity in from the start. It's the 4th league start of the season. It's Motherwell pinch it back to Halliday in the midfield, slip forward towards Maswinise, but Carter Vickers gets onto it first and rolls it back to Kasper Schmeichel. Then out to Taylor on this near side. Anthony Ralston it was with the ball in for Maida to head home. And it's the perfect start for Celtic, who, albeit very early in proceedings, 90% possession, 1-0 up, and they come again. Taylor, left foot ball into the Motherwell box. It's booted to safety by Liam Gordon out to this near side, chasing after it is Luke Armstrong, one of the January arrivals, who's out of play for a Motherwell throw-in off a Celtic boot down below us in front of the main stand. So worst possible start for Stevie Frail in caretaker charge here.
It is, because he already knew it was a big task coming up against Celtic, and the one thing he would have wanted his team to do is frustrate, be difficult to play against individually and collectively, and suddenly you find yourself a goal behind. It'd be interesting to know, you may well know, the last time Celtic went ahead in a domestic game and didn't win the game. It isn't, or it doesn't happen very often, so it's a mountain to climb already for Motherwell, but they have to show a little bit of personality, a little bit of fight.
Yeah, and another mistake with another loose ball out there towards Dom Thompson's given away. Celtic have it back with McCowan. That Maida goal, incidentally, the fastest scored in the Premiership this season, as Trusty turns it out to Taylor. And despite the fact Nick Walsh is down as the referee on the team sheet, it is Callum Scott who's in the middle of the game, as Trusty picks up and rolls it to Taylor. Taylor out to Hatate, finds Taylor out in the touchline, low ball for McCowan, gets the touch onto it, but O'Donnell has a chance to clear, but he makes a complete mess of that. Then McCowan wins the corner, and they won it back there, and already the Motherwell supporters, the reaction tells you everything you need to know about how they're feeling about their football right now.
I think that's unfortunately aimed towards Stephen O'Donnell. I think he's done a couple of interviews this week the fans haven't been happy with, and he's made a couple of mistakes early on, Liam, so they're jumping on the bandwagon.
Hatate crosses in from the short corner up towards Trusty, the right hand side of the penalty spot. He can only flick it behind for the goal kick for Motherwell, with Ellery Balcom, who was on loan at St Mirren in the first half of the season from Brentford. He had to pick the ball out of his net inside the opening minute. To say when the ball hit the net, I quickly looked at the time and it was saying 51 seconds. It's come down officially, I think, as certainly on the website, our website, it's 49 seconds as that long ball comes all the way through to Greg Taylor, who'll calmly roll it back to Schmeichel. Takes a touch, take a chance, and that's gone behind for a Motherwell corner because Luke Armstrong was putting the pressure on. Schmeichel just a little bit lackadaisical on that occasion, and it draws Motherwell's first corner of the match. 6.5 in there, 1-0 down.
Yeah, I'm just obviously Kasper Schmeichel is remonstrating that it came off. Armstrong went for the goal kick, but yeah, they've got their corner. That gets them at least into the Celtic attacking third, into the box. They can put the big players up, the centre halves all up in the box. Gives them an opportunity.
Corner on this near side, Thompson will take. And one of several new arrivals. He's come to Fir Park after a spell at Blackpool. In swinging left-footed corner. It's not the worst delivery either. Nobody in Claret and Amber can get in the end of it. Fabulous corner into the Celtic box, and it's one of those where a little touch from anyone in Motherwell colours, and that even off a Celtic player, it could end up in the back of Schmeichel's net. It stays 1-0 Celtic, 7.5 played.
It's a huge chance. When you play against Celtic, you don't tend to get a plethora of chances, so when something as good as that or as productive as that comes along, someone has to throw themselves at the ball. It's such a tantalising ball. It's only about head height. The goalkeeper can't come. The defenders are scared to touch it. Someone in a Clarent Amber jersey has to throw themselves at it. A little bit of encouragement, but still getting beat by 1-0.
Remains goalless at Ibrox in the match between Rangers and Ross County. If it's that you're looking for, it's on BBC Radio Scotland Extra, 810 medium wave, and on digital. Celtic have it with Taylor, knocks it forward to Hatate, out to Maida, back to Taylor. They're now up level with the 18-yard line of Motherwell on this main stand side. McCowan finds Taylor, and then back to Luke McCowan, shimmies on to his left, plays it short to Taylor, and then infield to Hatate. McCowan just wouldn't dig out from under his feet, and Tom Sparrow's onto it now. It's with Motherwell in possession with Maswinise, who finds Coletta on this near side, and he rolls it back to O'Donnell, who turns to face his goalkeeper. And Balcombe leathers it forward with the right foot into the Celtic half, where Ralston will get onto it over on that far side. He squares it infield to Carter Vickers, who of course had that small injury that kept him out of the 4-2 defeat at Aston Villa on Wednesday evening. Been disappointed to miss out on that one. What an atmosphere it was the other night as Callum McGregor picks up first time with the left foot to the right of the centre circle for Ralston. Out to Nicholas Kuhn on the far side. Steps away from Thompson into a central area. It's a deft little chip ball in, looking for Maida. Headed away by Coletta. Sparrow nods it away, but only as far as McGregor. He can't control in the chest, and Sparrow's back onto it, and he rolls it back to O'Donnell. O'Donnell then goes back to his keeper.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the goalkeeper kicking us twice now. He's kicked, but there's no almost understanding of where the big striker is. He's just kicking it for the sake of kicking it. Just have a little look up, see where he is, try and drop it into him or onto his head. At least then he's got an opportunity. Just kicks it beyond him and gives the possession back to Celtic.
I think one of the problems for Motherwell's midfield is Sam Nicholson, Andy Halliday and Tom Sparrow. They're continually looking over their shoulders to see what's going on behind them, and now the centre has to deal with that. Andy Halliday hasn't engaged with the midfielder yet. Tom Sparrow's trying to, but they're all so defensive that when they win the ball, they're closer to their own goal than they are to the opposition.
Here comes Celtic down the left. It's Maida, level with the 6-yard line. Well challenged by Coletta, but Maida's still on it. He's going to win the corner down this left-hand side. Celtic leading by 1-0. We've played 10. And Daizen Maida's 16th goal of what's been a very profitable season for him. And he's joint top scorer with Kuhn, who is also on that 16-goal mark. Kuhn's also got loads, double-figure assists as well. And McCowan takes the short corner to Kuhn, stepping away from Sparrow, playing it off the Motherwell number 7 and behind for another Celtic corner on this near side. And McCowan will take. Well, Motherwell don't have to look too far for inspiration. Celtic were 2-0 down by this point against Aston Villa the other night, got back to 2-2 by the break. They can ill afford to concede again here to the visitors. McCowan's corners flicked up into the air by Nicholson to the edge of his own box. Thompson with a backward header. Maswinise's onto it midway inside his own half, but he's bullied off it by Ralston. The challenge comes there from Armstrong, and that will be a foul against the Motherwell striker. And Celtic have a free kick just outside the centre circle in the Motherwell half.
Didn't see a lot in it now, to be honest. It was body coming against body, really, in the challenge. The referee, I think, did Carter Vickers a little bit of a favour there, but Celtic have got possession again in the opposing half.
Well, they've been really good in front of goal here, Celtic. In the last 10 meetings at Fir Park, they've scored 33, 34 and 10 and a half, or 10 and a bit now, given the Maida header, which found the net. Sparrow's chopped to the ground at the edge of his own box by Hatate, and that will be a free kick to Motherwell, who have they've at least stemmed the flow. There's not been too many, if any, Celtic glaring opportunities since the goal went in.
The problem is always going to be when you win the ball, what you do with it. And you're talking about possession. I think it was 90% to 10% early on. When they went to Celtic Park, they only had 16%. I think when they played here earlier in the season, they only had 23%. So that tells you when you land on the ball, you've got to be productive, or as productive as you possibly can be. It won't happen all the time, but you've got to defend well, you've got to be difficult to play against, and when your chances are presented, you've got to be brave.
Throw in on this near side to Motherwell. They're now up to about midway inside the Celtic half, and Coletta's over the throw. It was a 3-0 Celtic win when they were here at the end of October. McCowan, Johnston, Ida scored. It was 4-0 at Celtic Park on Boxing Day. Engels, Maida, Kuhn and Hatate all scored. And it is Maida on the score sheet against the Steelmen again this afternoon. It's with Blaney, plays it square. There to Gordon, to O'Donnell on this near side. Long ball from the captain with the right foot, Maswanise. He's managing to get after the ball, taking on Trusty, winning it off Trusty, but his touch takes it through to Carter Vickers, he sweeps clear. Back out to this near side, and Caletta gives it straight to Maida. He's managed to wriggle some room for himself, playing it through, looking for Kuhn. He's off target with the pass, and it comes all the way through to LA Balcom, and it stays Motherwell 0, Celtic 1 on 13 minutes. As O'Donnell, under pressure from Maida, he's won the throw-in the end, and kind of a result for Stephen O'Donnell there, because on another day Maida's nicked it off him and racing in behind.
Yeah, and listen, Maeda really sharp there. He worked in the middle of the pitch initially. He had that pass that wasn't a great pass for Kuhn, but then he reacted higher up the pitch again, and when the ball comes out to O'Donnell, he's back there wooling and working really hard to win it back.
He just sets traps, Dyson Maida. He allows the full-back to think he's got plenty of time in the ball. The minute the ball leaves the goalkeeper or the other centre-half's foot to go towards the Motherwell player, which was Stephen O'Donnell, Maida is on his bike. He's just hunting him down and puts him under pressure and almost nicks the ball away from him.
Alston out to Kuhn on the far side. Halfway inside Motherwell territory, goes back to Carter Vickers, who shifts it right to left of the centre circle for Trusty. Out to Taylor on the near side and onto the touchline for Maida. Level with the edge of the D of the Motherwell box. Low ball back to Hatate, taking on Halliday, finding Taylor, back to Hatate. On this near side, Halliday all over him, but Hatate's wriggled some space for himself, but he shows too much of it to O'Donnell. He can win it back and find Halliday. He knocks it to the edge of his box for Sparrow, who plays it forward now for Maswanise. He's on his bike across the halfway line, rolling it wide right for Armstrong, right of the Celtic box. Armstrong looking to cross, cut out by Trusty. Motherwell corner, their second of the afternoon.
The one thing about Maswanise is that he has got a bit of quickness about him. He gets the ball and he opens up and he wants to go forward, and he's got a nice bit of sharpness about him, and that's something I think that they could actually build on, Motherwell. Obviously Armstrong coming into a team to partner him up front, made a decent run down the right hand side, and they've got their corner, which again could lead to something, because the first one in there was a really good delivery.
Yeah, Don Thompson will be hoping to repeat the trick here. He's over the corner again, a left-footed in-swinger coming up. Motherwell plenty in the penalty area. In from Thompson's nowhere near as good this time. It's headed away by McGregor at the near post. Back out to Thompson on the near side. He runs into McGregor, who puts it out for a Motherwell throw-in, a bit level with the Celtic penalty spot on this near side. And Caletta coming out to take it. Not sure if he's got a long throw on him here, but they're still in the attacking third here, Motherwell, as they try and find an equaliser, and they were up against it from inside the opening minute of the match. And here they are, trying to find an equaliser. Caletta bowls it short, gets it back immediately from Halliday. Back to Caletta now, he's hoisted it back towards O'Donnell, back towards the halfway line, and then in the centre circle it is Blaney out to the left hand side. Thompson goes long down the left flank. Nicholson will chase, he'll not get there though, and it will be a goal kick to Celtic. It will stay 1-0 to Celtic. It's goalless still at Ibrox between Rangers and Ross County, and the other match being played in the Premiership this afternoon.
And the one thing, if you're going to play the way Motherwell are, which is 5 and 3 in front, you have to have dynamism, and I think Luke Armstrong looks like he can cover the ground quite well. Maswanise can cover the ground well. Thompson, as a left wing back, can get up and down, as can Caletta. So you'll have to be selective of when you release yourself, but when the opportunity presents itself, you've certainly got energy in the team that can drive the team forward.
McGregor puts it straight into touch for a Motherwell throw-in on this near side. I was mentioning his debut against Care Reykjavik in a Champions League qualifier under Ronny Deila in 2014. He scored in that game. In fact, he started his Celtic career. I think he scored in his first 3 or 4 matches.
Well, he played different positions, as Brendan alluded to in his interview before the game, and you know,
he was wide right. He
was wide right. He's played left back. He's played in the number 10 position. He's played in all those areas, and that has learned him the game, really. That's what it was about. He settled into that position brilliantly, though, as that holding midfield player.
I remember doing that game actually in Iceland with Mark McGee, former Celtic striker, former Motherwell manager, 2 times over. As Celtic come forward, Ralston, long ball into the Motherwell box. Ida with a header towards goal, but it's a comfortable take for Balcom on this occasion. Stephen, would you suggest that Motherwell have settled not bad considering they were behind inside the opening 50 odd seconds?
Yeah, absolutely, but it's because players are taking touches on the ball. As we're seeing at the minute, they're making 2 or 3 passes, they're building a little bit of confidence and belief, and there's little holes that they can pick Celtic off if they're brave enough and if their pass and their execution is right. The Celtic fullbacks are so high, there's space for Maswanisi, there's space for Sam Nicholson and Tom Sparrow to run into, but it's finding it with the quality.
Celtic come again down the left. Maida chasing. Coletta's there with him, though. He's trying to see it behind for the goal kick. Maida gets her back heel onto it to ensure that it's a throw-in only for Motherwell down on this near side, which means they'll be camped deep inside their own half just now as Rangers go in front against Ross County. Ridvan Yilmaz has got the goal. Rangers 1, Ross County 0. There's 10 points between the top 2 coming into the pair of matches this afternoon. Celtic do have a game in hand, which they will play on Wednesday when they host Dundee. The game that was called off last weekend due to storm damage. Celtic have it with Trustees. Ball out of defence, goes straight to Sparrow on this near side. Sparrow wriggling away from Hatate. He's got Taylor ahead of him as well. Sparrow misunderstanding with Armstrong, and Trustee will see it behind for the goal kick. And it will remain Motherwell 0, Celtic 1 here. So the top 2 both 1-0 up this Sunday afternoon. And it was Hadji, I think, has been credited with that goal. I thought I heard Yilmaz in my ear. Hadji has got the goal. So Rangers 1, Ross County 0. Regardless of who scored it, Rangers up against County side that haven't won at Ibrox yet. As Taylor rolls it back to Trusty, and now with Carter Vickers.
Yeah, Motherwell have settled into this game a little bit better. You know, they've managed to be able to curtail Celtic to pass the ball kind of almost across midfield and at the back, and they haven't been cut up as much as they were in that early period of the game. It looked as if Celtic were going to score at will early on, but now the game has settled up and they've got a wee bit more aggressive. Motherwell and forcing Celtic back.
Yeah, they're in the game right now until Celtic score again, and then it just gets away from them, and it gets away from most teams that Celtic get a 2-goal lead in and eventually arrives, and generally it does. They've been regularly scoring 2 or more in their matches, 28 of their 36 in front. In fact, they've scored more than once. It's Carter Vickers with a low ball with a side foot out to Kuhn on the right-hand touchline, up the line for Ralston. Ralston's ball forwards, cut out by Thompson. Motherwell defending here, but Thompson losing out. He's been ganged up on there. There were 2 or 3 Celtic players around him, and eventually goes out for a throw-in to Motherwell off a Celtic boot over on the far side in front of the East stand. And remains 1-0 to Celtic.
Yeah, see, the problem is when you play a certain way and you have very little of the ball, or you get throw-ins, see when the ball goes out or you win the ball, you can't take a break, you can't rest. That's the time to up the tempo. Physically it's very, very demanding. It really is, puts pressure on you, but you just allow Celtic to get back into shape. Motherwell had a throw-in, pick it up and take it, get the ball back and play while they're out of sync, and you can maybe go and try and create something. You can't afford the rest.
Motherwell on the lookout for their 7th manager in the last decade. Barraclough, McGee, Robinson, Alexander, Hamill and Kettlewell have all gone across the last decade. Who will it be? They've got a couple of weeks after this one till their next game, or just under 2 weeks. It's knocked out of the Scottish Cup. They'd rather not be having a week off, but that is the way it is, unfortunately for them, after losing to St Johnstone in the Scottish Cup. Followed that up with defeat there last week as well, despite Andy Halliday's early penalty giving them the lead, as Nicholson picks up for Motherwell left of the centre circle on the far side. Approaching the end of the first quarter of this one. Celtic still leading by that opening minute header from Daizen Maida, as Balcom plays it along his 18-yard line to the right there for O'Donnell, and up the line for Sparrow. Sparrow to Coletta. He's had it nicked off him by Taylor. It's going to be an early low ball into the box. Might well have come up with a different plan, and he realised what was going to happen as it's cleared by Shane Blaney and out for a throw into Celtic on the near side.
Yeah, wrong decision from Sparrow. He's left. Obviously the full-back is pushed forward, and he's left in that sort of kind of almost right back himself, and he ends up then trying to play a little pass and gets caught out, and just the final ball.
Taylor could have gone on there.
Yeah, he could have. Yeah.
And it's Nicholson from Motherwell out to the left-hand side. This has come from a loose Callum McGregor pass as well. They are generally collectors' items. In comes Thompson's cross. Carter Vickers claims he was fouled, but it's been lashed home by Armstrong, and Motherwell have an equaliser here. Having trailed in the opening minute, it's the new man, Luke Armstrong, who fires it home. Carter Vickers has gone to the referee. It'll be interesting to see what the VAR says, but for now at least it is Motherwell 1, Celtic 1 on 23 minutes.
Yeah, listen, there was body contact, there's no doubt about that. Whether he pushed him, whether he just used his body to almost ease him out of the path of the ball, the flight of the ball, but then sort of obviously they still should have dealt with it when it comes in there. But it'll be interesting to see what VAR does here. But that's your typical big English type centre forward who's come up here, put the ball in the box, give him an opportunity to go and trying to attack it, and he's done it, and it eventually comes back to him. He sticks in the back of the net from the initial cross.
Yeah, it's good quality from Thompson out on the left-hand side again, isn't it? I mean, we saw him from his corner from the right earlier. That's a great ball in. It
was great build-up play. Again, Callum McGregor gives the ball away. What Motherwell can't afford to do at that stage is give him the ball straight back. They make a couple of passes, they switch the play, a lovely, delightful ball in. Armstrong, does he do an awful lot wrong? I mean, there's a little coming together. The referees give the goal, absolutely.
He's given it, yeah.
I think the desperation of the Celtic players is more panic than anything else. They know they haven't defended a simple ball into their box well enough. And Armstrong, he's a handful. He's physically, he'll win headers, he'll chase, he'll harry. Does he have quality? Well, he had quality at that moment. And since you're going in, you have to say Motherwell have responded well. They've grown in confidence a little bit more. They've spent more time on the ball. And with a good quality delivery, they find themselves level.
The first Motherwell goal for on loan Carlisle striker Luke Armstrong, and Celtic have been pegged back just as we ticked into the second quarter of the game. We did say that Motherwell had settled, having conceded so early. You could have forgiven them for the roof collapsing at that point, but they've dug themselves into the game and they've found themselves an equaliser, and here they come again with Halliday, and it's going to be knocked by Nicholson out to Armstrong. It's an early ball which is cut out by Ralston, breaks to Maswanise, midway inside the Celtic half, goes down, no free kick coming. Maida wins it back for Celtic against Coletta on this near side. Knew there was only Ida ahead of him, so he rolls it back to Taylor, who plays it in field to McGregor. Well, that's a major boost for Motherwell, that, is it not?
Huge, of course it is. When you're trailing against the champions, you've no manager, you're feeling sorry for yourself. The away fans are singing and dancing, and Celtic are dominating the ball. For you to get back level gives you a real shot on the arm that you've now got to take. But don't retreat back in defensively and think, well, we'll try and defend what we've got. Keep going forward when you can.
And McCowan losing at the edge of the Motherwell box. The clearance comes off the back of Halliday. Thompson slices it away. It's not a great clearance with Ralston, who plays it out to Kuhn on that right-hand side to the overlapping Ralston level with the 6-yard line. Low ball across is cut out. Carter Vickers wins it back for Celtic. Maswanise is onto it and he challenges Ralston, who goes down. I was waiting to say no free kick. He's eventually blown the whistle. I can only imagine that Callum Scott, the referee, he was waiting for Callum McGregor to see if he put an early ball into the area and he would have given the advantage. He belatedly blows the whistle, and Celtic have a free kick over on the right-hand side. It's almost level with the edge of the D of the Motherwell box as Yanis Hadji makes it 2-0 to Rangers at Ibrox against Ross County. Coverage of that one continues on BBC Radio Scotland Extra, on medium wave and on digital. Paggy Boner.
Yeah, you're right to describe it. Like, obviously the Motherwell fans are going mad because he didn't think it was a foul, and then saying that he could have played allowed the game to go on because Callum McGregor was in a good position to go and attack the box or put a cross in or whatever, and then he just took the easy thing and give the free kick.
Well, it's McCowan and Hatate who are over it. McCowan with the left, Hatate with the right. It is McCowan, into the box it comes, headed away. Taylor gets a touch onto it, finds McGregor, who rolls it back towards his own goal, towards the edge of the centre circle to Ralston, and then out to Hatate on the right, looks up at the box, drills the ball in. It's cleared there just on the 18-yard line by Motherwell through Blaney. Long clearance up towards the halfway line, and Ralston nods it all the way back to Kasper Schmeichel.
Keep stepping forward. Motherwell, there's that fear, Liam, when you get level, you think that's the work done. It's not. Don't start dropping off and looking behind you again. Tom Sparrow, keep being positive. Thompson, wing back in Clare, keep being positive.
Celtic have it with Taylor, the ball along the 18-yard line of Motherwell. Ida can't really control. Halliday gets it half away. Ida has it now though. Ida finds Taylor. Short ball in field to Hatate. Back to Greg Taylor. He side foots it back onto the halfway line for Austin Trusty, who squares it to his right for Carter Vickers, who finds Ralston. Then back to Carter Vickers. Ball forward down the line for Ralston. Infield to McCowan. McCowan then charges forward away from Nicholson. Rolls it to the left for Taylor. Taylor with a low ball into the box for Ida. Can't really control it. He's back to the goal. Liam Gordon did well. Celtic pick up the scraps again with Ralston, and now Taylor to McGregor. He lashes it high over the bar into the Cooper stand, and it stays Motherwell 1, Celtic 1 on 28 minutes. Bang on that now.
Not like Callum McGregor to his technique letting him down that point. It just came off the side of his foot. But normally,
7 goals this season. I think they've all come from outside the box, haven't they?
Yeah, it was a little bit further out this time than where he scored his goals from. But in saying that, I think we'll allow him a mistake the odd time.
In his 500 Celtic appearances, there's not been many of them, albeit it was he who gave the ball away for what turned out to be the Motherwell equaliser. Yeah.
Oh.
And a long one through, comes off the head of Trusty back towards his own goal, and Taylor dives down and heads it back. You heard the former goalkeeper in the background there when the defender didn't really make a decisive contact with the ball.
Well, at least he got his head to it, and then he can react off the header. What I used to hate is balls coming in and people just allowing it to bounce, and then you're in trouble. Then you don't know what to do. At least do something, get your head on it and react.
Celtic have it with Taylor into the middle there for McGregor, out to the left for Hatate. Taylor goes charging on the overlap. Hatate in field to McCowan. He's found Maidai's inside the box. Across it comes, and the goal goes in from Ida. Flag stays down. Celtic have their lead back. Really good build-up play at the edge of the box, threaded to the left of the area, across the 6-yard line, and Ida, the simplest of tasks to make it Motherwell 1, Celtic 2.
Really good approach play though. Brilliant ball in, played down the channel, the runner going 1-2, and then the ball played with pace across the 6-yard, probably about 4 yards out, and Adam Ida, like all good strikers, attacking that near post and putting it in. It's an easy enough chance to put in once he makes contact, good contact on the ball.
Very difficult when Celtic start popping the ball about at the edge of the box, as Aston Villa I saw the other night.
Well, it all starts from the middle of the pitch. The ball's rolled square into Callum McGregor. It's 3 Motherwell players against 3 Celtic players in midfield, so someone isn't picking up Callum McGregor. Once they get beyond that stage, then it's all about one touch, slick play, the final pass, and the final goal.
The goal's good. There was an offside check there. The lines were being drawn, but Ida was onside, and he's up to 11 for the season, and he seems to be relishing the mantle of main goal scorer. Here comes Motherwell with Masranise, right hand side of the goal, and he fires it across the bows of Schmeichel in the goal frame and behind on the reverse side for a goal kick, and it will stay 2-1 Celtic. But Masranise was in there, and another day, you never know, hits the target, and Motherwell are back level again within a minute.
Yeah, and they're using that ploy of pushing Armstrong out onto Greg Taylor, and they're playing it into that area, and he's a big lad, and he wins. That's a 2 or 3 now he's won from that position, and then they react off that, and Celtic haven't been able to defend it. And that I did say earlier on when the pass backs were coming back to him and he was over kicking it, play it into the big guy, and he is big, strong. Doesn't look the most orthodox player in the world, but he's come up from England, so he knows how to perform as a big striker, and he's got his goal, created obviously a goal for himself too, and there again he was effective.
Yeah, I mean, 2 games without Kyogo, and Ida's got 3 goals. It's exactly what he wanted.
Yeah, that's it.
That's exactly what his manager wanted and needed.
Yeah, listen, that'll do his confidence again. We talked about confidence being a big part of a striker's, obviously profile, and when your confidence is down, you struggle a little bit. With confidence high, it always seems to, everything comes off.
Celtic have it with Hatate on the near side, just turning away from Sparrow and squaring it in field for Ralston. Ralston out to the right hand side of the Motherwell box for Kuhn, taking on Thompson. Important period in the game this for Motherwell. Comes back to Hatate's efforts blocked by Halliday. Taylor picks it up and finds Carter Vickers, who rolls it out to the right hand side. Cross from Ralston in towards Maida. It's half away by Motherwell. Thompson will try and complete the clearance, but Kuhn wins it back off him as it bounces out off Thompson and out for a Celtic throw-in. over on the far side. So the top two in front, Celtic 2-1 here, Rangers 2-0 up, seemingly cruising at home to Ross County. A double from Yanis Hadji. Here, goals from Maida and Ida, and Celtic lead 2-1, despite the equaliser for Luke Armstrong. Parity was only there for a matter of minutes though. But I tell you, this is generally a game there's plenty of goals in, even, you know, whether it's Celtic dominating on the scoreline or Motherwell making a real fist of it. Remember the one Brendan Rodgers was in charge in his first spell, 4-3, one late on by Tom Rogic. There was one last season where there was a goal at each end in second half stoppage time. Celtic won by the odd goal.
There he is again. The guy, he's working hard, Stephen?
Yeah, the problem is there's too big a gap between the two centre forwards and the back five. The back five aren't moving, which is indicative of goal kicks. They give the ball to the goalkeeper, thumps up the pitch, and his three defenders are standing 2 yards in front of him.
Taylor for Maida, level with the Motherwell penalty spot on the near side, rolls it back the way to Taylor, who does likewise to McGregor, who squares it infield to the central area for Ralston, and now it's with Hatate. Hatate bends the ball out towards Kuhn. Thompson read it and clears it up towards the halfway line. Carter Vickers picks up, now it's with Ralston, rolls it out to Kuhn on the touchline. Thompson with a challenge, Kuhn manages to pass it back to Ralston, and infield to Carter Vickers. Celtic stroking it about at walking pace really at the moment, as it's worked from right to left, and now it's with Taylor infield to Hatate, and first time ball back to Trusty, who finds Carter Vickers. Moving towards the 34-minute mark. McGregor to Hatate. Celtic looking for a third. They lead 2-1, and it's Ralston out to the touchline for Kuhn. Ralston goes in the overlap. Kuhn steps in field though. Finds McGregor. Rolls it back to Carter Vickers, and now it's with McGregor. Again, over on the far side touchline into McCowan, who touches it back there to Carter Vickers. To the left of the centre circle for Trusty, and then out to Taylor on the near side to Austin Trusty, who squares it to Carter Vickers. All Celtic again. Motherwell just trying to get through this little period here without conceding again. Good challenge by Blaney on McGregor, wins it back for Motherwell, and Armstrong's fouled by Hatate. That will be a Motherwell free kick left of the centre circle inside their own half. It's Motherwell 1, Celtic 2.
It's good pressing. When the ball comes in the midfield, I said you're 3v3, that's where you've got to engage. You've got to go and try and nick it and then break from them. I think it's Luke Armstrong once again. He's putting in a shift, but he's having to be selective with his energy. There's no point in going chasing all round about and burning yourself out. So he's having to place himself and positionally be in the right areas. So when he does win it, he can then pose problems.
See Stevie Friel down there with David Clarkson, the Motherwell management team. Richard Foster down there as well, as Maswanise picks up on this near side. Down towards the corner flag, he's able to turn it in towards O'Donnell. Pinched back though by his former Scotland teammate McGregor. And Celtic trying to play themselves out of trouble here. McCowan's ball up the line and the near side towards Ida's cut out there by Gordon. It breaks to McGregor midway inside his own half, finds Ralston. It's going to go long here, looking for Adam Ida in behind O'Donnell, who wins the header though, and he gets it to Sparrow. He's able to get it away, but McCowan will try and get it going again for Celtic here. Back to Taylor, then to Hatate, now with Ralston. Kuhn on the right hand side. Now it's with Kuhn up against Thompson, using Ralston in the overlap. It's a low ball across, which is cut out by Blaney at the expense of a Celtic corner. Motherwell 1, Celtic 2. We're in the final 10 of the first half, and Motherwell hanging on a little bit here as they try desperately to avoid going 2 behind.
Yeah, they got in again, really good down the flank, but just I think he's got to play it up to the back post in that situation. So many bodies to try to play through, and on the cutback, I think if he hung it up to the back post, I think they had a couple of players there, Celtic.
McCowan's corner goes all the way through to Maida, heads wide.
Wow.
Well, you can tell by Maida's reaction that that's a glorious opportunity to score a second header of the day, but he puts it wide, and that will be a goal kick.
Was that my ball? Shout.
Motherwell.
Never getting there.
But the goalkeeper, my ball away. He was really uncomfortable. I know that was a weakness when he was at St Mirren. You look at some of the goals he conceded when he was there. He doesn't like coming off his line, and he's a huge presence of a man. He should be coming and punching the ball and wiping everyone out in front of him. Mother will get away with one.
They did, yeah. It was Maida getting into the back post, and it was just, it came to him so quickly. You know, he got his head to it, but just couldn't get enough on it to direct it on target.
Problem here for Coletta. He's down in his own box receiving treatment, so there's a stoppage in play here. John Souttar celebrated his return to the Rangers team today by scoring their 3rd goal. They lead Ross County 3-0. and that following the Hadji double. 2-1 Celtic here. Highlights on the telly tonight, plus a review of yesterday's games. Wednesday, Celtic Dundee, live here on BBC Radio Scotland. It's a 7:45 kickoff. Highlights that evening as well. And then the Scottish Cup takes centre stage with Ayr United taking on Hibernian, top of the Championship against one of the Premiership's in-form teams, under the lights at Somerset, live on the BBC Scotland channel. 7:45 kickoff. Saturday, the games include Dundee against Airdrieonians at 3 o'clock kickoffs, with Celtic Wraith Rovers at 5:30. The holders look to get to the quarters. Then on Sunday, it's beleaguered Aberdeen against Dunfermline, Rangers Queen's Park, Monday St Mirren Hearts. And a change here for Motherwell, Stephen. They've been forced to bring Harry Payton on, and Coletta can't continue.
No, which is a big blow, because I think physically he can match Dyson Maida. He's got a good turn of pace. He was using his body well against him. He done it well on Boxing Day as well. Eventually he ran out of steam, so that means a slight change. Stephen O'Donnell will stay in his position, but Tom Sparrow will go and play as a wing back, so it'll be a real test for him up against someone of the quality of Maida.
Here's Armstrong for Motherwell, driving down the right-hand side. He's got Payton in support on the touchline. Armstrong, though, he's managed to drill the ball into the Celtic box, but it's cleared by Carter Vickers and out for a throw-in on this near side for Motherwell to take through Sparrow. 7 minutes left of the first half, plus stoppages.
I'll tell you what, he's putting a shift in, Armstrong, isn't he? Look, Armstrong, he's obviously he's come in, new club, he wants to make an impression, but he is working really, really hard. If I was Stephen Frail, I'd be thinking about how am I going to change that in the second half, because he's definitely going to run out of gas somewhere along the line, but he's putting a shift in for his team at the moment.
The Premiership's just incredible. From 3rd down to 11th, 11 points. They're all bunched in an 11-point bracket. And you consider where Aberdeen were, for example. They're sitting 4th. They were 9 clear in 2nd at one point, level in points with Celtic. They're now just 9 points off the relegation playoff place. It's an astonishing season in many regards, as Taylor picks up for Maida. One thing that has continued for the most part, as we've seen, save for one season since 2012, is Celtic dominating at the top, and they are 10 clear as things stand, as Carter Vickers rolls it to his right for Ralston, onto the touchline for Kuhn. Kuhn in field finds McGregor, and Celtic looking to get that goal that they've done so often, and scoring late in a half of football, whether that be the first or the second half. How often have they scored just before the break to knock the stuffing out of you? How long can Motherwell hold out here from this relentless Celtic possession? Ralston turns it back to Carter Vickers.
Yeah, well, they keep possession really well. So, like, you know, the goal was a perfect example of possession, and then suddenly bang, 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 2 or 3 passes, they're in behind you.
It's with Greg Taylor, who plays it infield to McCowan, and then back to Taylor on this near side. Finds Hatate, and then Hatate to the central area for Ralston. Then McCowan, he's short with the pass, and Payton's onto it. Payton's still under pressure from 3 Celtic players. He's found Thompson on the left, and he clears it into the Celtic half. But it comes right through to Carter Vickers, who'll play it short to Ralston.
The problem is, Liam, Celtic have all this possession, and Motherwell have got 3 central defenders marking 1 centre forward. So it's 3v1, which means they're men down somewhere else. In the midfield, they're getting an absolute pounding. They're going side to side, and they're trying to press. They can't. It's physically impossible to do 2 jobs per player, while there's 3 centre halves standing there just kind of watching the game and keeping their position and not being brave enough to step forward.
Yeah, Celtic have it with Carter Vickers. Moves it to his right for Ralston. So they come again, down the touchline. It's Kuhn, level with the edge of the Motherwell penalty box over on the right-hand side. Now he steps in field, gets the cross in. Headed away by Gordon.
It's a 5v7 in the middle of the pitch. Celtic have got 7 players, not counting the goalkeeper, of course. And then, you know, Motherwell have got them sort of 5 in there trying to do a job.
Yeah, mismatch. It is a mismatch. The cross from Ralston's poor, it's headed away. Ralston's cushion header back into his own half for Carter Vickers, who goes all the way back to Schmeichel. There was a period about
you've got to move. Sorry, see, the ball goes to the goalkeeper. That's when you've got to go and try and steal 15, 20 yards. You can then drop back 5 yards after that, but if you don't move at all, it means you're never getting yourself up the pitch.
Motherwell win it back though, but Masvidisi gives it straight to Hatate. Hatate finds McCowan. Low ball to his right there for Ralston. Looks up at the box, and it comes away by Liam Gordon. And then the header from Nicholson, sticking it back towards his own goal. McCowan chips it forward for Maida. Lovely first touch. Maida's got a chance, and it goes high over the bar, but Balcom's made the save. It's really good goalkeeping by Ellery Balcom. It is a Celtic corner, but it could so easily have been a third for the champions and a second for Maida.
Yeah, great reaction from Greg Taylor in the middle of the pitch. First get to the ball, clips it over the top of the defence, and it was Maida with his quickness getting in behind. I thought he could have maybe outside of his foot just knocked it across the goal. He had Adamida and Kuhn almost lining up to get another goal. But the goalkeeper was out really quick.
In comes the corner from McCowan. It's too high for Trusty. Celtic pick up on the far side with Hatate. 2.5 to the end of the 45. Hatate volleys the ball into the box, straight to the Motherwell goal scorer Armstrong, who's trying to carry the ball out from defence on his own, but eventually he's overwhelmed, and it's with Callum McGregor, who plays it short to McCowan, and then to McGregor again. Now McCowan, back to McGregor. Out to the right for Ralston. It is crucial for Motherwell they don't concede again before half-time here. It's with Carter Vickers inside the centre circle. Out to the right for Ralston. Ralston to the touchline for Kuhn. Under pressure from Thompson. Goes back to Ralston, who was Scotland's first choice right back during the Autumn Nations League campaign. Interesting to see if that will remain the case next month when the national team play Greece. Those Nations League relegation playoff games. Celtic have it with Ida down the right hand side, back the way to McCowan at the angle of the box. Now it's with Kuhn, now it's with Ralston. Out to McCowan on the far side, onto the left foot. It's a low ball to Kuhn, gives it back to Luke McCowan, who goes down. He was the meat in the sandwich. He wants a penalty, he's not getting it. I think it would have been extremely harsh had that been awarded, and then there's a foul on the far side by Hatate. He's had a couple of them in the game, and Callum Scott just giving him a little warning.
Yeah, it wasn't a penalty, but there's no harm that he can actually come and remonstrate to the referee looking for the penalty, but it's up to the referee to make the decision. Nothing wrong with that for me.
It's exaggeration. There's a slight contact. He throws himself to the ground, tries to spin to win a penalty kick. You would normally think referees go for yellow cards for that because they're trying to stamp that out of the game. When if there was a clear enough contact, it would have been obvious he goes down. But when you try and exaggerate it yourself, I think it's obvious for us to see.
Balcom will take the free kick for Motherwell. There's going to be 2 minutes added on as things stand at the end of the first half here at Fir Park. Rangers, remember, 3-0 up on Ross County, edging towards half-time at Ibrox as well. Long ball up towards Armstrong. He's done really well, actually. Good first touch on the touchline. He managed to move the ball into central position. That's when Issei couldn't control, and Celtic have it back with Trusty on this near side, and he turns it back to Taylor, who in turn goes back to Schmeichel. There's the 2 minutes confirmed. We're into the first of them. The end of the first half. Motherwell 1, Celtic 2. Ralston down the line for McCowan. Back to Ralston now with Carter Vickers. He sweeps it right to left of the circle for Trusty. Then out to this near side for Taylor. Faced by Payton. Then back to Trusty and then to Carter Vickers. Striding forward, finding Ralston on the right hand side. Onto the touchline for Kuhn. There's not too much space to deal with Niklas Kuhn. He's desperately trying to get into the game, you can see that.
Johnson's done a good job up against him, physically strong, and he's handling
chance
quite
for
well.
Celtic. Ida ushers it left hand side of the box for Taylor. His ball across, first time with the left, cut out and behind for a Celtic corner on this near side. The closing stages of the first half here on Sports Sound, BBC Radio Scotland, FM on Sounds, online bbc.co.uk/Sports Scotland. Half-time analysis to come from this game and from the one in Glasgow as Taylor picks up from the short McCowan corner. Little dink into the box towards Kuhn's, cut out by Thompson. And he has impressed. I mean, Packy's talking about how well he's done against Kuhn, but in an attacking sense as well, he's been a threat.
I think even his reading of the game, his anticipation there. He comes and clears the ball. I just think he has a real energy about him. You can tell by his body language he's up for the challenge and he's enjoying what he's facing. He knows it's tough, physically, mentally. We've said that before, but he's absolutely up for the fight. I think he's done really well. Him and Luke Armstrong have been a real standout for me.
Carter Vickers to Ralston, right of the centre circle. Under pressure from Nicholson, back to Carter Vickers, squares it to Trusty. He's under pressure from Maswinisi. He's done enough to get it out to Hatate on the near side, to the applause of his manager. We're well into the second minute of stoppage time at the end of the first half as Halliday puts it out for a Celtic throw-in. So we are now just about 10 seconds away from the half-time whistle. This comes back to Trusty on the halfway line, in field to Carter Vickers, and he rolls it to his right for Ralston. Ralston out to that far side for Kuhn. He goes back to Carter Vickers. That's the 2 minutes played, and that is the half-time whistle in Lanarkshire. Celtic have the lead, and you did fear for Motherwell when they went behind inside 50 seconds. Daizen Maeda heading a Ralston cross back across the goalkeeper into the far corner to put the champions 1-0 up, though the Steelmen found an equaliser through new signing Luke Armstrong, lashing home after good work by another of the new boys in claret and amber, Dom Thompson, down the left-hand side. And it was 1-1, though Celtic re-establishing their lead through Adam Ida's 11th goal of the season. Brilliant work on the edge of the box, down the left, and it's similar to what they were doing in Birmingham on Wednesday evening. So half-time at Fir Park is Motherwell 1, Celtic 2.
The Scottish Premiership.
From BBC Radio Scotland.
Join me, Joy Dunlop, for BBC Radio Scotland's Young Traditional Musician 2025.
Music was just such a thing that was ingrained growing up.
As soon as I started doing that, that was like my passion. Love it. Biggest thing in my life.
On the awards' 25th anniversary, 6 finalists perform for this prestigious title.
I think I was quite drawn to fiddle.
I just love the idea of creating music.
And that's when I realised, like, this is something that I'd really, really like to do.
The BBC Radio Scotland Young Traditional Musician 2025. Live from the City Halls in Glasgow. Today from 5. Watch on BBC Alapa, listen on Sounds.
You're listening to Sports Sound with me, Richard Gordon. It has been a goal-laden first 45 minutes across the two matches. Motherwell 1, Celtic 2, Rangers 3, Ross County 0. That means, incidentally, we are closing in on the 7,000th goal being scored in Premiership history. At the start of play today, there had been 6,989. Kind of figured it might take until midweek before we hit the big 7,000, but it could happen this afternoon, just 5 short now after Celtic and Motherwell sharing 3 goals. And of course, also 3 goals on offer at Ibrox, all of them for the home side, and all described by our commentator there, Thomas Duncan.
Yeah, well, Rangers might fancy getting to that mark all by themselves here at Ibrox, Richard, because they've been utterly dominant in this first half. It's been as routine as they would have liked, and a bit of a nightmare for Ross County, who have struggled. And Yanis Hadji with 2 of the 3 goals, the first on 18 minutes. Václav Černý doing what he does best and what Ross County shouldn't have allowed him to do, which was picking the ball up on the right-hand side, jinking in on that left foot, which can be so lethal. Low shot to the near post, which Amissa could only palm out to Hadji, who had the easiest of tasks to just tap in and open the scoring. 7 minutes later, it was 2, and Ross County can count themselves pretty unlucky with how that one came about, and Donkey wasn't happy that a free kick was given against them on the edge of their own box. Yanis Hadji stepped up. It was a decent strike, but it took a really wicked deflection off the Ross County wall. Completely wrong-footed Jordan Amissa and spun into the net, and that was Rangers 2, Ross County 0, just 25 minutes gone. And then it was basically, you feel, game over where the third goal went in. Ross County not defending a set piece. A corner comes in, and the second smallest man on the field, Nico Raskan, popping up in the centre of the box, gets a glancing header to the back post, and John Suter was there to mark his return with a goal, just played it high into the net, his first goal of the season. There have been other chances for Rangers, and Ross County have been a bit limp, and a team that don't really look like they come here with any real belief or intensity or sharpness about them. They have had one opportunity, which was from a set piece. It was well delivered, and Akil Wright attacked at the back post, but it was more or less straight at Jack Butland, and there was another dangerous delivery when it was goalless from Noah Chilvers, whipped in a lovely ball from the right hand side from a free kick, but no one was there to attack it. So I'm sure we'll see a few changes from Don Cowie in the second half. He'll be extremely unhappy with what he's seen, but Philippe Clement, on the other hand, will be absolutely delighted because his side have been imperious, really. And at half-time, it is Rangers 3, Ross County 0.
Rangers have already beaten Ross County 6-0 this season. That was back in August. They also had a 6-0 win against Kilmarnock in December, and Stephen Thompson alongside Thomas there. It sounds like if they're in the mood, they could be looking at emulating that kind of winning scoreline this afternoon.
Yeah, it's been pretty much how you'd expect it to go, to be honest. 73% possession, 17 shots to 1 for Rangers. County have been really poor, in all honesty. You talk about coming here and trying to keep the score down and not conceding an early goal. The goal that they lose was such an unavoidable one. Cherny cutting in on his left-hand side, which he sees happening so often. He hits the shot, the goalkeeper spills it, and then it's a tap-in for Hadji, and that was pretty much game over. But then the second goal, deflected free kick, a bit unlucky with that one. And then when the third goes in, it's just curtain. So, I said to Thomas during commentary, it's a really good opportunity now for Rangers. He talked about the minutes for Suter before the game, to take him off and maybe give some of the younger players an opportunity to come on. They've been given minutes recently, Rice and Curtis. It'd be great to see them coming on, because the game's won at this stage, and being such a stickler for his minutes and things like that, Philippe Clement, I'd imagine that he might look to freshen it up. But Rangers could be one. You see often at this juncture at half-time in these types of games, when it's been so one-sided, the opposition manager might go, right, okay, we don't concede in the second half, we make changes, try and make it difficult for Rangers, and the game finishes 3-0, or you get the opposite. 12-0 in aggregate for the 3 games between the sides this season, and you wouldn't put it past Rangers going on in this second half and making it 4-5-6. So Rangers completely dominant and not really a test, in all honesty.
A really strong first 45 minutes for Rangers then. They are heading to victory. Celtic also on course to pick up the 3 points at Fir Park. Let's, for those of you who were listening into the Rangers game, let's get Liam McLeod to sum up the first 45 minutes at Fir Park.
Yeah, it's more of a game here. At the end of the day, Motherwell very much in it, but 2-1 down at the interval, and they would have feared the worst when Dyson Maeda headed home inside the opening 50 seconds of this one, pretty much straight from centre. Celtic went up the pitch, scored, and they were 1-0 up. But Motherwell dug in, they got themselves into the match, and they found an equaliser through Luke Armstrong, who's on loan from Carlisle. He finished well. Carter Vickers thought he was fouled. The ball came in from the left from another impressive operator for Motherwell today, and another new signing in Don Thompson on the left, and he's put in some dangerous balls. He's defended Nicholas Kuhn very well too. So there have been positives for Motherwell, though Adam Ida restored the lead for Celtic just before the half-hour mark, as he managed to touch it home after good build-up play for his 11th goal of the season. Maeda's one took him up to 16. He's level top scorer for Celtic alongside Kuhn. But it's been a good performance by Celtic. They've seen a lot of the ball. I think Ellery Balcom hasn't been as hard worked as Brendan Rodgers would have hoped, but Celtic do have the lead here as Motherwell try and improve on their record of just 1 win in 9. At half-time in Lanarkshire, Motherwell 1, Celtic 2.
Stephen Craigan and Pat Bonner are alongside Liam. I know that there had been a shout and VAR had a wee look at the Motherwell goal. I've got to say, I see nothing at all there in terms of the challenge by Armstrong, and Carter Vickers didn't look like, there might have been contact, but there didn't look to be any kind of considerable push, and it was a fine finish by Armstrong. But either side of that, those goals from Maeda and Ida, and let's be honest, Pat, it could have been more than 2-1 right now, couldn't it?
Yeah, Celtic lots and lots of possession, waiting for the moment, especially penetrations come in the wide areas, particularly on the left hand side with Maeda getting in. Obviously the first goal came from him getting in initially, and then they kept the ball alive on the right hand side. The surprise was it was so early in the game, and Motherwell had all their defenders in position, and Maeda then getting in at the back post from just a normal cross, but a very, very good header back across from the same side as the cross came from, a back across the goalkeeper. I didn't think the goalkeeper had any chance, but that then settled in. You're thinking, wow, this game, so early to go a goal behind, got Celtic are going to go on and win this game comfortably. Motherwell then got into it, worked really hard. Armstrong has worked extremely hard. I don't know how he's going to last the pace. I think he won't last the pace, but he's done a power of work up, got his goal. And then again, Celtic getting themselves noses in front again down this left hand side, waiting for the moment, and then lovely 1, 2, 3 one-time passes getting in, and then that ball from Maeda back across, almost a 4 yards out for Adam Ida to get across. So and that's been the nature of the game. Celtic won in most of the possession stats, keeping the balls, especially when they got that second goal. I think then again they got back into control of the game and forced Motherwell then to just work really hard rather than Motherwell doing too much. But they have a live wire in Armstrong, they have a live wire and Mas Onishi up front, but they need to then get closer to them, as Stephen was describing in the commentary, get closer to them and try and get those two players in positions where they can hurt Celtic. They're still in the game, 2-1, never over, especially here at Motherwell.
Yeah, Stephen, having conceded 50 seconds into the match, they would have been delighted, Motherwell, wouldn't they, to be back in level terms by the midpoint. What do they need to do better if they're to give themselves a chance in the second half?
I think try and make the game a little bit more compact. I spoke about the two centre forwards trying to press the Celtic back line. The three Motherwell midfield players are stuck in between of, do we go and back them up and try and nick the ball high, or do we look over our shoulders and look at our back five here 15 yards behind us? So there's too many gaps. Clearly Celtic have been dominant in the game. They're always going to be good with possession, but when the ball goes forward from Motherwell's point of view, or Celtic play it back to the goalkeeper, that's when you have to try and go and steal your yards. You've got to go and try and steal 10, 15 yards, make your three banks as compact as you possibly can, so when you go and press, you've got support round about behind you. But what happens is two parts of the team drop off and one part of the team steps forward, and that's exactly what Celtic want. They want the space to play in. When you play against a 3-5-2, which Motherwell are, Celtic's space and overload is in the wide areas. Tony Ralston and Greg Taylor have had a field day. No one's been able to get to them. They haven't really had to defend. They've got free time. They're playing 1-2s with Maida on this side and Kuhn on the other side, and that's where the problem's coming from. Too many crosses coming into the box. But when the ball goes forward from Motherwell, gamble, go and commit yourself, be brave. Even at 2-1, within a minute of Celtic going 2-1 up, Mas Onishi was through with a chance to make it 2-2. So there's little glimmers of hope there. The big positive for me is they've hung in the game at 1-0 after a minute. It's easy to feel sorry for yourself and roll over and think it's not going to be your day, but they've managed to battle their way back into the game, and the subs in the second half that Stephen Frail brings into the game are going to be crucial, because they're going to need the energy, they're going to need that threat and that dynamism to try and get them up the pitch when they can. So keep it as 2-1 as long as you possibly can and allow the manager on the side to make his influence.
I guess the problem for Motherwell partly is Pat, they know the threat that Celtic carry, and there's yet more threat. I mean, you've got to assume that at some point we're going to see Jota coming on from the bench.
Of course, absolutely. I don't think he'll be on the bench unless he's going to put him on, at least for a cameo near the end, if he can get away with it. But I think the next goal is going to be absolutely crucial. If it goes to Celtic, I think the game's over. If Motherwell happen to get it, then the pressure comes on with a crowd behind them, Motherwell, and then make it very difficult for Celtic. The other thing that was very noticeable in this half is obviously Motherwell playing with, let's call it 5 at the back, the 3 centre halves up against 1 striker, and then they almost give up the midfield, because it's almost like an 8v5 in the middle of the pitch, counting the goalkeeper from Celtic's perspective, and they'll pop it around, keep moving it, and it's such hard work for that 5 then to almost cover the width of the pitch. They have to really be concentrated and work as a group, and any little space that opens up Celtic exploited, because they've got those players, and then that's when Celtic come alive then in the final third, because do you step out, do you help the midfield, do you stay in your position, and Celtic then it becomes 2v1s down the wide areas.
It is the round of 16 in the Women's Scottish Cup. All the matches being played this afternoon. Aberdeen have beaten Hamilton by 3-0. The big game, Glasgow City edged out Celtic women by 3-2. Spartans have beaten Kilmarnock 6-0. St Johnstone were 4-2 winners against Elgin. It was Dundee United 1, Boroughmuir 3, Falkirk 0, Hearts 9, and Rangers 7, Montrose 0. One further game which will be kicking off shortly, and it's Motherwell against Bonnyrigg Rose. A reminder that Sport Scene tonight is at 7:15 on the BBC Scotland channel. You get full highlights from the two matches today, Motherwell Celtic and Rangers Ross County. And there'll be the best of the action from the 4 games yesterday in the top flight as well. Choice of listening for the second half here on Sports Sound. If you want to hear Rangers against Ross County with Thomas Duncan and Stephen Thompson, it'll be on Radio Scotland Extra, medium wave, digital. Motherwell against Celtic, Liam, Stephen Craigan and Pat Bonner on BBC Sound and FM, and of course both matches live online at bbc.co.uk/sportscotland.
On digital radio,
FM,
online at BBC Sports Scotland,
your smart speaker,
and on BBC Sounds.
This is Sports Sound from BBC Radio Scotland.
There's no substitute.
Welcome back from Fir Park. Motherwell against Celtic, the second half just about upon us here for listeners on BBC Radio Scotland, FM, on Sounds, and of course at bbc.co.uk/sportscotland. 2-1 to Celtic as Motherwell prepare to kick off the second half. And chilly Fir Park in the claret and amber, right to left towards the Davy Cooper stand as we watch from the back of the main stand in the second half. Celtic in the green and white hoops will shoot towards their supporters in the big south stand, and the first touch of the second half is Sam Nicholson, who knocks it all the way back to Blaney, who launches it out to the far side. There's an awkward landing for one of the Motherwell players over on the
Armstrong, isn't it?
Yeah, it's Armstrong, who had a busy first half. Scored the goal for Motherwell that's given them hope of taking something from this game. Given us a Motherwell free kick as well. No changes incidentally at the start of the second half. Motherwell did make that alteration in the first half when they had to bring on Harry Payton for the stricken Marvin Coletta. Paggy.
I was going to say, if I was Greg Taylor, I wouldn't even be challenging him in there. I would almost let him go and head it and then hopefully get the second phase ball. And that was a foul given away early in the game.
Thompson, Nicholson over it. Nicholson's going to leave it for Thompson, and it's bent into the box. Halliday goes after it. It bobbles around the 6-yard area, and it's cleared, hooked away by Hatate. Another really good delivery.
Brilliant balling. I'm just thinking, is the goalkeeper going to come or not? Is in that sort of almost grey area where in between the defence and the goalkeeper, but the pace on it, I was bending in towards goal. I could have went anywhere.
Just need a bit of conviction. Even when the ball had come in and bounced around, and you're thinking, go on, go after it, don't wait for something to happen, be proactive.
Nicholson goes down, no free kick this time. It's out off Carter Vickers for a Motherwell throw-in though, level with the edge of the D of the Celtic box. A bright start to the second half this by Motherwell. They know they're within striking distance at the moment of the champions. And it is Blaney taking it for a run down this left-hand side, down the line for Thompson. It breaks off Kuhn, who keeps it in play and finds Ralston. He's able to clear. Hatate's header keeps it in play, but it's with Halliday. And Payton under pressure from Maida. Of course he is, and it breaks the way of Ida. Maida's away if he can find him. Threads it through right-hand side of the Motherwell box here for Dyson. Maida looks up, a delicate chip ball to the back post area. Nobody in green and white, and it was behind for the goal kick. But that's how quickly they can hit you. 47 on the clock, 2-1 Celtic.
Yeah, I was going to say, who was it that was on the ball?
Shane Blaney.
Shane Blaney. He's got to play that on a diagonal. He has a big striker look. Armstrong just almost in between a fullback and the centre half. Just play it, and then you get support around him. But then he takes a touch and he goes and plays. Get the ball into the box is the critical.
Too many touches. He takes his first touch, he takes his second touch, and then it's dead. The minute he takes his first touch, he's got to play the pass. Then he start dribbling, and they end up and down a blind tunnel, which has happened. He put Thompson under all sorts of pressure, and the ball's turned over. Decisions like that have to be better.
Benches today for Motherwell: Matty Connolly, Balmer, Stravkovsky, Wilson, Watt, Andrews, Plange and Dixon. The two latter ones there arriving just yesterday on loan from Crystal Palace and Manchester City respectively. Of course brought on Payton already, as I said. Sini Salo for Celtic, Johnston, Scales, Yang, Nawrocki, Kenny, Engels, Bernardo and Jota, who scored here before. A couple of goals against Motherwell. I'm sure we will see Jota, who's taken command of the number 7 shirt, once adorned by Henrik Larsson and Kenny Dalglish et al. Carter Vickers playing it to the left there for Trusty.
Sorry, the question,
no pressure.
If Jota comes on, does Maida go through the middle?
Well, here's Maida down the left-hand side just now. He does waiting in the middle for the pull back. It's cut out and behind for the corner of a couple of Motherwell players.
I said that would be the problem. Tom Sparrow up against Dyson Maida. He's not used to playing in the full-back area up against someone with the pace and the quality that Maida has. All he has to do is go short and spin him behind. Ball's up his inside shoulder, can't cut it out. Luckily, Liam Gordon's there to save his day.
be a Luke McCowan corner, that far side, the southeast corner of Fir Park. Out swinger with the left coming up here. McCowan, though he does have the short option, and Coon if he wants it. It's coming straight into the box though, and it comes, it's flicked away on the 6-yard line by Gordon. And now the play goes for a Celtic throw-in on this near side, the Celtic right. And it will be Ralston over it. And he's got McCowan making an angle for him. He plays it back the way to Hatate instead, and now it's with Carter Vickers out to Hatate on this near side. It's the run just inside the Motherwell half. He's got the long ball through. He's found Ida. He spins away from his man. It's brilliant from Ida, and it goes in off the defender. It's an own goal. It's all about Adam Ida though. Tom Sparrow is the unfortunate Motherwell player. It's poor defending. It's been a problem for Motherwell all season. And it's brute strength from Adam Ida. Spun his man, fired it across goal. And there's always the chance, regardless of who it comes off of, that it's going to end up in the net. It stays now after 50 minutes. Motherwell 1, Celtic 3, though they are checking it for offside.
I don't think he was offside. It was a defender behind him when the ball's played in. But really, really strong play. Good play from Adam Ida. Typical strong centre forward play, getting his body between the ball and the defender, and then just playing it across. Anything can happen then. I don't think if Sparrow didn't get his foot to it, I think Maeda was there to tap it in. So brilliant play from Adam Ida.
Shane Blaney, it's a simple ball up the pitch. He mistimes his jump. For some reason, you talk about centre halves wanting to go and head the ball. He completely mistimes his jumps and misses it completely. Catches Liam Gordon off guard. Adam Ida may have been offside, I have no idea, and Adam Ida's shaking his head at the ref. It's not the referee's fault. He wasn't in an offside position, or potentially in an offside position, but Shane Blaney has let himself down big time and Motherwell couldn't recover.
David McGeechy's the assistant on this near side. Well, I think this goal's going to be ruled out here. I think this is going to be given as an offside, and this goal's not going to stand. Free kick Motherwell. Well, that's a let-off and a half, not just for Motherwell collectively, but for Shane Blaney personally, Stephen Craigan. Well, stays 2-1 Celtic.
The referee puts his arm up for offside and one Motherwell player applauds it. Well, it's Shane Blaney. It's a massive let-off, and it has to be a wake-up for him. He can't afford to go heading balls and missing it all together.
It's a strange place for the ball to be played from for the free kick. Obviously, he picks the ball up almost in the 6-yard box. You know what I mean? Like, it's now the free kick is about 4 yards outside, 3 or 4 yards outside the 18-yard box. So it must have been very early in that move that he was offside.
Long one for Motherwell from that free kick, and it's ended up, rather than a Celtic third goal, it's resulted in a Motherwell corner up the other end.
Well, we know he's got a long kick, Ellery Balcom, which takes me back to the point of goal kicks. Whether Motherwell centre-halves passing the ball to him in the 6-yard box from a goal kick, squeeze the game, play in the halfway line, play the game in Celtic's half. Motherwell aren't going to play through Celtic, but what we've seen already, they can go over the top of them or they can go down the side of them.
Sam Nicholson will take the corner in front of the Cooper stand. On this near side, the Motherwell left, they attack the goal to the left. Thompson wanted a quick short ball played to him, but Nicholson either wasn't interested or didn't spot it, albeit the referee's prevented anything quick from happening anyway, because he's in conversation with Taylor and Maswanise inside the 6-yard box. Well, Motherwell have got to use that as inspiration and might give them that extra adrenaline, because that looked all the way 3-1 Celtic. It stays at 2-1. Nicholson's corner is a floaty delivery, and it's comfortable for Schmeichel, though the Motherwell supporters in the stand behind the goal felt there was a foul on one of their players inside the penalty area as the long ball's cut out by Sparrow and out for a Celtic throw-in on the far side. 53 on the clock, Motherwell 1, Celtic 2.
Yeah, game's still on here. You've got to say Celtic are dominating the game, I think, from a possession point of view, and but set pieces is always a way in for Motherwell, corners, free kicks, anything like that there into the box with the height that they have.
Always, if you're going to beat one of half of the Old Firm name, you need so many things to go in your favour. You need the big decisions to go your way and the small little things in the game. So if Motherwell are going to get anything from the game, maybe that offside goal has to be the inspiration. You have to try and grab it and take it, but ultimately it's a little reminder you have to defend better.
Rangers continuing to lead Ross County by 3-0, a double from Hadji, one from Suter before half-time. Celtic and their fans thought they had gone 3-1 up, and you would imagine at that point it would have been an unassailable position for them. As Maida picks up on the left and looking for Hatate, but Motherwell clear through Payton, and now O'Donnell's charging forward here. Trusty's to be careful here up against Stephen O'Donnell up towards the box. He's in the Celtic box now. Trusty's done enough. Too strong for O'Donnell.
He's done really well. You know, two of them were in contact with each other, but he's used his strength and a little bit of pace that he has just to match Stephen O'Donnell. But it was good play from Motherwell. Nearly got him in.
McGregor rolling it back to Carter Vickers, and then to his left for Trusty. He leaves it for McGregor. He keeps things going out to Taylor on the left. An early ball towards the edge of the Motherwell box, which is cleared by Gordon. Now Taylor, first time low ball in field to McGregor, forward to McCowan, first time to Hatate, then back to McGregor. He's got Taylor on the left hand side as an option. Little dink ball into the box, cleared by Gordon round about the penalty spot. McGregor's header forward to Hatate. It's a poor one from Hatate. He's giving it straight to Maswanise. He's managed to get away from Hatate, couldn't get away from Taylor though, and Celtic have it back. Taylor to McGregor in the centre circle, to the right of it for Ralston. Low ball out to the right hand touchline here for Kuhn, taking on Thompson at the right angle of the box, steps across the 18-yard line. It's a tempting ball in towards Maidan, headed behind for the corner by Sparrow. Well, like Casey, Sparrow's relieved because it would have been his OG. Now he got scrapped. Celtic have a corner.
Brilliant defender by Tom Sparrow, I've got to say. I thought at one stage he hadn't recognised where, or realised where Dyson Maida was, because if he doesn't head the ball, Maida's going to get a free header and goal. So it's excellent defending as a fullback.
Yeah, see Thompson down. That would be a blow. That would be a real blow to Motherwell.
Yeah, he's coming off. Ewan Wilson's going to come on.
Yeah, but I think he's done really well up against Kuhn. Really well today. We talked about his sharpness and his anticipation of things, and he's quick, he's sharp, he's strong, and he hasn't allowed Kuhn really to get beyond him.
Yeah, it will be a blow. Ewan Wilson got the call. Thompson's going to soldier on for now, but it looks as though he's going to be coming off any second now. Celtic the short corner, McCowan to Kuhn, back to McCowan, dinks the ball into the box towards Carter Vickers, headed away by Blaney, and out eventually for a Celtic throw in on this near side, level with the edge of the D of the Motherwell box.
The problem is some of the players that come up from England, they're not used to playing in a game as intense as this and been under so much pressure and the tempo being high because of the quality of the opposition. They move the ball all the time. We keep saying it, they test you physically in every single department.
Well, there's a team that's in the knockout stages of the Champions League, isn't it? And Celtic with Bayern Munich to come, and they're at home on Wednesday week against the German Giants. Return in Bavaria 6 days later, looking for a place in the last 16. Here's Greg Taylor on the left. It's the cross in, but it's a comfortable take for Balcom, and he clears quickly with the right foot. It's asking a lot of Maswanise. A little nonchalant header to his right by Carter Vickers, and then a foul by Nicholson on Ralston.
I'm not sure he's touched him. I think he ran straight at him, did he? He didn't lift his leg, he didn't gesture towards him with his foot or studs. I think he just kept running forward.
It's more one of them, you kick into the player and you make contact and then you go down, but yeah, Thompson's
down again, so they will have to make the change. And Ewan Wilson, you were saying to me earlier, Stephen, he's been left out in the last couple of matches, and he's somebody who Motherwell will be hoping can provide as a sellable asset in the years to come, but a chance for him to come on, and he's going to have to hit some decent level today because Dom Thompson is certainly impressed.
Yeah, he started the season well, Ewan Wilson, but much like the team in the last 6 or 7 weeks, his form has deteriorated. He looks nervous, he looks a little bit unsettled in his position. I'm not too sure what position he is, but I think he looks a little bit uncomfortable, and if he does come on, he's going to have to get up to speed because he's got Nicholas Kuhn.
Well, Dom Thompson wants to give it one final go here.
I don't think he wants. I think the manager wants him to give it one. He wasn't.
Ralston's angle ball in. It's headed away with Maida behind there. Sparrow did well. Here's Greg Taylor. He's the edge of the Motherwell box. Rolls it to his left for McCowan. Challenge from Payton. McCowan felt that. No foul though. Celtic pick up the scraps over on the left with Trusty down the line for Hatate. Infield to McCowan. Celtic 2-1 up, looking for a third. Breaks to Maida and then back to McCowan, whose snapshot saved well by Balcom. Down low to his right. He guessed where McCowan was going to put it. He was down and he holds on as well. Maida looking for a rebound. Stays Motherwell 1, Celtic 2. We're a minute away from the hour mark at Fir Park. Hilary Balcombe holding on to the ball here. I think Stevie Frail will be desperate just to ensure that the equaliser doesn't come in the near future, that they're very much in the game going into the closing stages.
Which I think is important to try and make your subs if you're going to make them when you're still in the game. There's no point in going to 3-1, 4-1 and then making changes. When it's 2-1, Maswanisi has been fine in the first half at spells. I think second half he's drifted away from the game, so it'll be interesting to see even Sam Nicholson in midfield. I wonder, will they be the options that Stevie Frail will be looking at changing?
In their last 13 games, Celtic have won 7 of them within 90 minutes. It was the cup final and penalties, of course. As I mentioned earlier, a couple of those games clearly in the Champions League where the levels higher, but he just slipped it through to Kuhn. What a chance, what a save by Balcombe with the foot, the overhead from Kuhn, finds the net, but the flag's going to deny him a special goal. It stays Motherwell 1, Celtic 2. The bicycle kick on the rebound from Kuhn bamboozled Balcombe, found the net, but as it stands it's not going to count.
Yeah, well, listen, I'll put it down to maybe good defending to let him go, but he was so much space, and the ball from Adamida just penetrated pass into his path. Good save from the goalkeeper, I've got to say, initially, but what a good improvisation from Kuhn there. It was almost like a standing overhead kick. Let's play. He didn't have to go to ground and made the corner, but they're checking it, but he is offside.
They are checking it, but no goal. Game on. Stays 2-1. Celtic have the ball in the net twice in the second half. Neither have counted. Actually, the Kyogo hat-trick ruled out against Young Boys in the Champions League a week past Wednesday. As Taylor bowls it back to Trusty, and now to the other side of the D of his own box to Carter Vickers, out to Ralston on this near side. Ralston's low ball, looking for Ida, sliding in Blaney to put it out for a Celtic throw-in on this near side. Kuhn takes it short there to Ralston, challenged by Maswanisi. It's Kuhn again, and it's Ralston again, and it's Kuhn again. Maswanisi with the challenge, but McGregor emerges with it. Passes it back into his own half for Carter Vickers, who finds Hatate. Hatate's little disguise reverse through to McCowan, now back into the centre circle for McGregor. To the left for Taylor, forward to McCowan, to Maida, left-hand side of the Motherwell box. Two Motherwell players combined, Payton and Sparrow, to get it away. Celtic enjoying a period of dominance here. You'd expect that, of course. And it's Taylor, ball in field low there to McCowan, he sprays it out towards Kuhn. Thompson seems to have recovered well, he heads it out for a throw-in on the near side. Need Ewan Wilson ready to come on. In fact, Wilson's for the third time down on the touchline, and this time I think he is. Eventually Thompson going to, oh, it's Maswanisi who's going to come off first, and imagine it will be Thompson. No, he's going to continue. I
think Wilson will play midfield. That was my thought with Sam Nicholson, and Maswanisi had made no impact in the second half.
Luke Plange, who's on loan from Crystal Palace, is going to come on. It's another striker. He'll replace Maswanisi. Wilson does come on, but it is for Nicholson. Don Thompson has made a Lazarus-like recovery, having gone down twice, and looked like he was going to be replaced by Wilson. Wilson is on, and he'll play further up the pitch, Stephen, do you say, yeah?
Yeah, he'll take over Sam Nicholson's place in that left of a three-man midfield. It also means that if Thompson has to go off, Ewan Wilson's already on the pitch and can slide out to a left wing back.
62.5 on the clock. Motherwell 1, Celtic 2. It means 3-0 Rangers at Ibrox against Ross County. Highlights on the telly tonight on Sports Scene. Celtic have it with Taylor. It's a poor ball. He gives it straight to Armstrong, who finds Payton on the halfway line. The Halliday's gone back the way to the chagrin of the Motherwell supporters as Payton chases it down the right, but it's Trusty who gets onto it, plays it up the line to Taylor, and now it is with Hatate. And Hatate plays it back off a Motherwell man and out for a throw-in. It was off Plange, one of these new arrivals, Stephen, that you're getting a first look at here.
Yeah, but it's clearly been an issue that Motherwell haven't got enough goals. When you look throughout the strikers, I think that's 7 strikers they have on their books at the club, never mind the ones they have out on loan. Apostolos Tomatolopoulos is injured. He looks the most natural one of the lot who will get goals.
Can they get something even an attempt on goal, something that just lifts the energy, because it's just very flat.
The crowd are flat as well, aren't they?
But I tell you, I feel for is that, you know, maybe smattering of Ross County fans over in the away end
70 or 80 of them maybe, I don't know.
The length of the journey to, you know, see not very much from your team. Still time for that to change. Chilvers curls it in, it bounces in the box, and again it's a decent enough ball, but County not attacking it, but Rangers have to turn it behind, so they'll get a corner and another chance to put it into the penalty area.
It was a good delivery from Chilvers, he's done that. But again, no takers there. Try again from the corner.
And he's been a good signing, Noah Chilvers.
Yeah, I like him a lot.
A couple of goals, 4 assists to his name this season. Lively player. And he places the ball on the Ibrox turf. Strides back towards the advertising boards, raises the right arm, shuffle forward, delivers to the near post with the right foot, and given talked him up. It's a poor delivery to the near post and cleared by Rangers. Czerny up into the air for Igman, good touch on the turn. James Brown puts a tackle in, and another one. Bailey Rice.
Apologies if you were listening to us here at Fir Park and the gremlins got into the system, and we're back now, so apologies for the interruption in the game. Celtic have made a couple of changes there, and they've brought on Jota for his debut, second time around. So unfortunately we've not been able to give him the big build-up, and there was a second player come on there, I think it was Arne Engels. Yeah, Engels. And the players to come off, Paquet, McCowan
and Kuhn.
And Kuhn, that's what it was.
So that's, what's that, £36 million worth of talent.
Yeah. Is that all?
Yeah, what chance have Motherwell got, really?
Yeah.
Let's be honest. When you're bringing on a player who went for 25 million and someone you bought for 11 million. So, fair play, Celtic are flexing the muscles. That's what they have to do.
Well, if Jota was available, then it'd be silly not to get him back to the club, given the impact he made in his 2 years. Firstly on loan from Benfica in full time, now he's back and he's on the ball. First touch for Jota on this near side. Infield to Engels, back to Jota, the two subs combining there. Low ball with the left, square to Taylor, left foot digs out across the back post. Tate on the volley is high and wide, and on 66 it stays Motherwell 1, Celtic 2.
Yeah, he's got to do better, I think, at Tate there. He got in a great position. He was looking for the ball, and it was a perfect flighted ball over the top of, I think it might have been Blaney again, is it? Yeah. He's struggling to get his orientation right, but when a ball comes to me, he had time to almost take it down or knock it back across the goal, and he hits it away over the crossbar.
Malcolm with a goal kick, long and high with the right foot into the Celtic half, flicked on by Carter Vickers out to Taylor on the far side. Taylor reacted well under pressure from Armstrong to find Trusty, who finds Ralston, who finds Engels on this near side. Onto Jota on the touchline, back to Arne Engels, and now McGregor plays it to the left of the centre circle for Trusty. Celtic desperately trying to find this third goal that would surely seal it. Taylor on the left hand side attacking the box, low ball into Ida's feet. Ida with a little drag back, but he's unable to retain possession, and Blaney clears for Motherwell. Carter Vickers trying to see it out for a throw-in, which he's done. And not happy are the Motherwell supporters, or indeed Luke Plangy was after it there. Celtic have it with Taylor over on the left as it's switched out to Taylor and then to Maida. Infield to Hatate, little ball infield to McGregor, back to Hatate, to Ida. His touch though is headed away by Thompson. Armstrong gets his chest onto it, goes down. Has he got his team a free kick? No, the referee's playing on. Jota, the delicate ball back to Engels. He wasn't anticipating it, and Halliday can come away with it for Motherwell. It's 2-1 Celtic, we're in the final quarter of the game.
Yeah, well, Celtic just need to manage the game out. Also, you know, they are a goal up. I know it's not Celtic's way of managing games. They want to go for more goals always, but yeah, you get the third goal, or
there's a chance as it comes in, and it's put past by Jota. He got goal side of Thompson 6 yards out, and he puts it past the right hand post. It's a really glorious opportunity. There was no flag against Jota, and he was very close to scoring a goal in his second debut for Celtic. Within a couple of minutes of coming on, it stays 2-1 to the champions.
Well, it's a run, isn't it? You know, the timing of the run, to getting himself into a great position, and then of course the technique of volleying it just past the post. It would have been an incredible start to his second career at Celtic.
Ida taking it down. Some of his touches have been excellent this afternoon. Adam Ida seems to be relishing the fact that he currently is the number 9 choice. And he's got it on this near side. Rolls it infield to McGregor. Shifts it right to left of the circle for Trusty, and then out to Taylor on that far side. Then back to Austin Trusty. Out to Taylor again. Low ball comes into Ida. It's a good spin, but it just gets away from him, and Balcom drops onto it. It's Motherwell 1, Celtic 2, and you know there's light at the end of the tunnel, and getting to the end of winter when it's still daylight here at 4:30 in the afternoon.
Yeah, just when you're talking about Adam Ida, he's trying to send a message to any potential centre forward who may come in the next 24 hours to say, I'm up to speed, I'm getting myself goals, I'm influencing games. If you come in, you're not just going to walk straight into the side, you're going to have to battle for a place, because I'm ready to take it off you.
He's already written his name into Celtic history with that Scottish Cup final winner last season. So in many ways the pressure is off in that regard, but every Celtic striker carries that weight of expectation, and it's Arne Engels looking for him. Long ball, he's found him as well. What a pass, he does in, he tries to force it home, it's blocked by Balcom, and Sparrow clears. Motherwell are hanging on for dear life here. That's a clear handball by Armstrong on the far side as he tried to control. 20 of the 90 to play, Celtic leading 2-1.
Yes, again, it's a run, isn't it? It's a really good run off the shoulder of the centre half, and then an exquisite ball. He just, I don't know whether the goalkeeper going to block or the defender going to block on it, but he's frustrated with himself not finishing that one.
Maida down the touchline, the underlapping Taylor who wins the corner off Payton. It just feels, Stephen, that it's only a matter of time before the third Celtic goal arrives.
I've been thinking that for the last 15 minutes, like Motherwell are sitting ducks. Celtic are just moving the ball and dropping the ball in behind them, getting down the side of them, fizzing it across goal. It's just waiting for that final touch. I've had a couple of lifelines with the referees, or the referee's assistant's flag going up. However, the longer this goes on, you think it's only a matter of time before Celtic do get the third goal and the killer goal.
In swinging corner coming up from Engels over on the far side, and it comes, and the header's over from Carter Vickers.
But if it doesn't
survive again.
Yeah, but if that goal doesn't come, you're never sure with Celtic that Motherwell can maybe achieve something and get a free kick or get into an area where they can actually put a pressure on that Celtic defence.
Kasper Schmeichel comes a long way from home, finds Engels, who plays the ball off Wilson and out for a Celtic throw-in on this near side. There's been late drama in this fixture at Fir Park over the course of the last 5 or 6 years. And Brendan Rodgers knows all about that. He'll want that third goal just to put that daylight between them. Rangers leading Ross County 3-0, all 3 goals coming in the first half, 2 from Yanis Hadji, 1 from John Souttar. They lead Ross County 3-0 along the road in Glasgow. Here in Motherwell, the home team trailing Celtic by 2-1. It's out for a Celtic throw-in, midway inside Motherwell territory on this right-hand side. Bowled in by Ralston to Engels, back to Ralston, back to Engels, who turns it back to Carter Vickers on the halfway line. Along the halfway line was the pass to Trusty. Out to the left for Taylor. Taylor finds Hatate down the left touchline for Maida, up against Sparrow. Back it comes to Hatate. Turns the ball back into the midfield here for Ralston. Looks up, right foot chip ball to the left of the box, looking for Maida, and just gets away from him. And behind it goes for a goal kick to Motherwell. Motherwell 1, Celtic 2.
Yeah, I mean, it's out at half-time, and Richard was talking, it's a bit hanging in there, and Motherwell have hung in there. They've had to from minute 1 when they went behind. Keep it up 2-1 as long as you possibly can. Maybe get a set play, maybe get a little bit of magic, maybe get an individual error from Celtic, and you can try and capitalise on it. But if anyone beats Celtic, it's not going to be out with Rangers. It's not going to be a team who dominates position and dictates the play. You're going to have to bide your time, you're going to have to defend well, you're going to have to sit deep, you're going to have to ride your luck, and then hopefully produce something when it matters.
And we'll have it with Blaney in the centre circle, forward looking for plans, but he's lost out, and it's Jota who emerges with it. Now it's with Ralston. Early ball down the right touchline for Ida. Gordon comes out to meet him on this near side. Ida level with the Motherwell 18-yard line. Back to Engels. Engels taking the ball away from Wilson as it bounces back off Gordon and out for a Celtic throw-in. Just taken quickly by Engels to Ralston. He gives it back to Arne Engels on the near side. Now with Ralston, left-footed ball, back into the centre circle for Trusty. Pokes it forward there to Taylor. Out to Hatate on the left-hand side. Midas to the left-hand side of the box. Hatate digs out the ball to Ralston. Still outside the penalty area, to his right. He's got Jota. Jota picks up, level with the 18. He's at the angle of the box. He crosses in with the left, and it's a diving header away by Gordon. Taylor picks up this time. Over on the far side. Low ball. Hatate helps it on its way to Ralston. Not a great touch, but Jota's in behind. Jota for Ralston, then back to Jota. Low ball in field to Engels. Engels barged to the ground looking for a free kick. He's not getting one. Then he handled the ball in anticipation he was getting the free kick. But it goes Motherwell's way for deliberate handball. And on 74 it stays Motherwell 1, Celtic 2.
Yeah, I'm surprised he wasn't booked for that, actually. You know, he obviously thought he was going to get the free kick, but he was caught unawares. He didn't know what was around about him, and just definitely wasn't a free kick, and he's given it away, but just took the momentum out of that Celtic attack.
Well, Don Thompson's down again. I think it's the third time he's gone down in the second half, so it might be he finally succumbs to that injury. Rangers 3, Ross County 0, Motherwell 1, Celtic 2 this afternoon. Highlights on the telly tonight. Wednesday, Celtic against Dundee, 7:45 kick-off, the rearranged game that was meant to be played last Saturday. 8:45 kick-off live here on Sportsound. Highlights in the evening. Friday, Ayr United Hibs on the telly in the 5th round of the Scottish Cup, 7:45 kick-off at Somerset. Saturday includes Dundee Airdrieonians. There's Livingston Cove, St Johnstone Hamilton in the Cup, and then 5:30 kick-off at Celtic Park. The holders host Raith Rovers. Sunday, it's Aberdeen Dunfermline. What a huge match that is. 12:30 kick-off, Rangers Queen's Park. It's a 3:30 kick-off as Dom Thompson is finally replaced by Davor Zdravkovsky, the North Macedonian. Andy Halliday is going to come off as well, and they're going to bring on Will Dixon, who arrived yesterday on loan from Manchester City. Just rounding off that Scottish Cup action, back on the telly, St Mirren Hearts on the Monday evening. That's a 7:45 kick-off. And then it's back to the Champions League and Celtic versus Bayern Munich at Celtic Park in the first leg of the knockout playoff round. All that to come over the course of the next 9 days or so, 9-10 days. Goal kick Celtic meantime here, and Schmeichel takes it short to his left for Taylor. And he's certainly been positive now, Stevie Frail, as he tries to get something out of the game, and we are at that point in the match where he'd have been really hoping that Celtic didn't manage to score that third goal, and that hasn't come to pass as yet. And he's thrown on a couple of strikers in the second half as he tries to get something out of it.
Fair play to him, because sometimes it's easy to sit with what you've got on the pitch, but he's being brave. I mean, you might as well lose the game 3-1 as lose it 2-1, so at least he's going to have a go, and hopefully now the players can carry that fight forward and carry that threat.
But he can do that when there's no pressure on you either, because he's not going to be the next Motherwell manager. He may well be part of the next management team, of course.
You never know, Liam.
Well, yeah, you never know.
Nobody thought Stuart Kettlewell was going to be the next Motherwell manager last year, and he won 2 games.
Stevie Hamill before him. It's a chip ball for Ralston's headed away. Engels losing out to Dixon, and then there's a foul and a Motherwell free kick midway inside their own half. 13 to play of the 90. How comfortable's Brendan Rodgers down there, Packy?
No, he's not. You know, he's desperate for that third goal to finish the game. I did say the third goal was going to be crucial, and who it comes to, whether it's if Celtic can get it, then the game's over. If they don't, they're going to be under pressure in that last sort of almost, we're coming down to the last 10 minutes when Motherwell can throw everything at it, and it just takes a set piece, or as we've talked about already, get it into an area, get people to attack the ball, and who knows what can happen.
Motherwell win it through Armstrong on the far side. He's had a good game. It looks like he could offer plenty. See, now in the end of the season, there's Payton, who slips as he tried to hit the byline under pressure from Taylor, and it goes behind for the goal kick to the visitors. Kasper Schmeichel takes it short to Carter Vickers. There was a point Celtic might well have been targeting their best ever defensive season in the league. They're now just one shy of the record of 13 set in the late 1800s. And clearly it's not going to happen now as Jota gets onto a big switch of play, and there's a foul by Jota, and that will be a free kick as Celtic make their latest change, and it will be Yang on for Ida, Packy.
Yeah, it'll be, I think Maeda will play through the middle. Yang will go out onto, either Jota's gone over onto the left, Yang on the right. And yeah, we'll see if Maeda, because I think he will have to be used there in lots of games if they don't sign somebody. But Adamida will be very happy with his game, I think, today. He's got his goal, but he hit the post. He's made very, very good runs. He was in positions where he nearly got on the end of to get his second goal. So he'll be happy with his contribution, I think.
Plus Jota goes and plays in his favourite position. He prefers to be off the left, doesn't he? He loves jumping inside on that right foot and the game opening up for himself. So it's going to be between Jota and Maeda. When everyone's fit, who's going to play there?
Yeah. The Rangers have gone 4-0 up against Ross County, and James Tavernier has converted a penalty. I believe that's the first penalty that Rangers have had in the league this season. James Tavernier has scored it. They got one in the League Cup against Dundee. First one in the league. It's February. Throw in Motherwell. O'Donnell with it. Into the Celtic box it comes. They half away. Hatate heads it to the edge of the box. Stravkovsky gets something onto it. Still alive for Motherwell here, but Gordon losing out to Hatate over on the far side of the box. Hatate's clearance is poor though. O'Donnell can hoist it back into the area, but it's too high for the three in claret and amber, looking to get on the end of it, and it will be cleared by Yang on this near side. Payton slides in to prevent it getting to Maeda, and out it goes for a throw-in to Celtic on this near side as we tick into the final 10 minutes of the 90. Motherwell 1, Celtic 2, and Rangers 4, Ross County 0 in Glasgow.
Just that little bit of quality you're talking about. Stephen O'Donnell, he's all the time in the world to drift across into the box. He overhits it, misses everyone out, and that's the moment you're looking for to see if he can produce something.
Ralston turning the ball back down the line here for Carter Vickers, who goes back to his goalkeeper. Michael takes a touch, releases it with the right. Well, he was looking for Trusty, too much on it for him, but it does break to Taylor, but his ball forward's cut out by Stravkovsky. And it's now Sparrow looking to make inroads down the far side. Hatate gets a touch onto it, gets it back to Trusty, who can clear high ball up towards the halfway line. Underneath it's Gordon, nods it forward there. Sparrow, now Armstrong, bobbling around inside the midway point of the Celtic half. Stravkovsky out to the right hand side for Motherwell, and they get the cross into the box here. Sparrow, two Celtic players gang up on him, Jota and Taylor, and Celtic have it back here with Hatate, who launches it long looking for Maeda. Blaney's the covering player, and he turns it into the stand on the far side. Throw in Celtic, and Jota's over it, but fancy he'll leave it for Greg Taylor here, and he does. Celtic have I think it's 4 home games in a row coming up after this one. Dundee during the week, then it's Wraith Rovers in the Cup, then it's Bayern Munich in the Champions League, and Dundee United back in the league the following weekend before they go to Germany. It's their schedule. Motherwell have the week off because they're out of the Cup. Ross County will be their next league encounter. As Trusty on the halfway line goes all the way back to his goalkeeper. Celtic looking at the bench again, Scales and Bernardo waiting to come on.
Just you're talking about Motherwell Ross County, that looks a huge game, doesn't it? When you talk about so many head-to-heads from 4th or from 3rd or 4th right down to 11th lane, every time they come together.
Well, I mean, the fact that Hearts and Hibs can still finish 3rd, if you'd said that to anybody in October, November, they would have been calling for the men in white coats. Here's Hatate, he's at the edge of the box, gets it back just about, breaks Yang's way onto the left foot, he shoots, and Balcom gets down low to his left to put it behind for the corner. Celtic just cannot find that 3rd goal as we approach 83 minutes. Motherwell 1, Celtic 2.
Combination of the 3 Asian players there, Maeda, Hatate and Yang, all linking in together. Yang coming on the inside, and he didn't get any real purchase on the strike, and I think it was easy enough for the goalkeeper, but he gives away the corner.
Scales is going to come on for Taylor, and Hatate will come off to be replaced by Paolo Bernardo. Just 7 of 90 remaining.
You think that's just to guard against set plays for Liam Scales going on and playing as a left back? You'd imagine that's the case.
I think so.
He's more than capable of playing there, Liam Scales. When he was brought to the club initially, there was, I think it was with that in mind, potentially deputising at left back when necessary. And he will come on for Taylor. Still not signed that contract. You think he'll stay, Packy, or will the imminent arrival of Kieran Tierney be
I don't.
It breaks the camel's back for Greg Taylor. He think, well, that's the main man back, I'd better head off.
Yeah, I think he's been a great servant to the club, and I think if he could get himself a move, he wants to play games. He doesn't want to be sitting playing second fiddle to Tierney, but maybe it might be a case of Kieran Tierney playing second fiddle to him.
Well, we shall see.
I doubt it.
Looks like he's off, doesn't it? Anyway, Celtic corner. Should be taken by Engels on the right-hand side here. The ref's not happy with Yang. He's having a word with him, and one of the Motherwell defenders around about him as well. On to 84 minutes. Celtic with a slender 2-1 lead. An out-swinging corner coming up with the right foot of Arne Engels on this near side. Here it comes into the Motherwell box towards the penalty spot. Carter Vickers helps it on its way, but it drifts out to the left-hand side of the box where Maida gets onto it. Maida shielding the ball from O'Donnell and squaring it to Carter Vickers. Rolls it low along the grass out to the right-hand side for Engels. Just trying to hold off Wilson. He's been forced back towards the halfway line here. Passes it back to Carter Vickers, and now it's with Ralston. The question you've got to ask is, can Motherwell conjure up one opportunity that might give them the chance to take something from this game? And remember, this is a game they were 1-0 down in after 50 seconds.
Well, based on the second half, the answer has to be no, because they haven't really carried a threat. They haven't showed enough ambition.
Oh, and here's Jota dancing forward up to the edge of the box, but he runs into Blaney. Motherwell able to deal with it. Sparrow plays it straight out for a Celtic throw-in though, over on the far side. The way Celtic are approaching this, you'd think they were 2-1 down.
Yeah, well listen, that's their DNA. They can't just keep the ball and move it and make the opposite. They want to be attacking at all times. It's always a...
Yeah, Ralston goes back to Carter Vickers. Highlights of this game and the one at Ibrox on Sports Scene this evening on the BBC Scotland channel, repeated later on BBC One. And Scales comes forward out to the left for Jota. It's level with the Motherwell 18-yard line. There's the traditional step over from Jota. He's got the cross ball in as well. Yang heads for goal, but it's wide of the target. Past the right-hand post, well past in the end. And it stays Motherwell 1, Celtic 2.
Yeah, to be fair, he was going away from goal, trying to get a bit of purchase on it. He was never going to get a good header on that cross. It was almost behind him on his left shoulder, and all he could do is try to direct it on target and just couldn't get any power in it.
See, just on the Greg Taylor and Kieran Tierney debate, Kieran Tierney's not going to play 60 games next season.
No, he's not.
He could end up playing 30, so Greg Taylor could still end up playing 30 games.
He'd end up playing fewer, given his injury problems that he's had.
He could. So, yeah. You hedge your bets. Are you going to get any better than Celtic? Are you going to get a better club with the chance to win trophies and play in Europe? Probably not. So, it's an interesting choice he has to make.
It is that.
And to be fair to Greg Taylor, he's played week in, week out. Was here obviously for a period. He came on in games, maybe started some games, but he was the main guy throughout the season, and it's a big ask with all the competitions that he play.
And he's come on leaps and bounds. It is Yang for Celtic, and then McGregor does well, finds Bernardo, rolls it to the left of the centre circle for Scales, out to Jota can now attack Sparrow, chops onto the right foot, still he's on his right, he shoots straight at Balcombe, he holds on. 87 on the clock, Motherwell 1, Celtic 2, still the third goal hasn't arrived. The champions, the ball in the net twice in the second half. They've hit the post through Ida, but the scoreline is still wafer thin. Jota down the left-hand side, showed too much of it to Sparrow. He gets it back though from Scales. First time ball back to McGregor. He'll be desperate for another victory to mark his 500th appearance. 23 honours in a Celtic shirt. Only a couple ahead of him, and Bobby Lennox and James Forrest. As Stavkovsky picks up for Motherwell, out to the right for Sparrow. It's the ball forward there towards Plange, but it's one back by Trusty. It was back to Schmeichel, and then to Austin Trusty. Motherwell can't get a hold of the ball.
And I don't want to be too critical of Plange, but he's looked off it since he came on. Every time the ball's come up to him, he hasn't had the physical strength to hold on to it. He's given it away, he's chasing things down. He just looks a little bit lost since he's come on to the game, and he hasn't had the impact that Stevie Frail would have hoped he had.
Well, I'm hearing there's going to be a minimum of 4 minutes added on at the end of the match, so that being the case, we've got just under 6 minutes to play. 2-1 to Celtic. Jota on the far side. Back down the line to Scales, infield to Bernardo, back to McGregor, out to Scales, chip ball, looking for Jota, cut out by Sparrow though. And just to highlight Tom Sparrow, he's done a pretty good job at right back since trying to replace those who went off before him, with his clearance has gone straight onto the roof of the stand, and I think he was just about to kick the ball when I was praising him there.
He stuck to his task, hasn't he? He said it was going to be a huge one against Maida, but he's handled them really well.
It is Payton from Motherwell at the edge of his own box. Tarkowski back to O'Donnell. Oh, he decides to do a little shimmy to just take out Bernardo and Maida. It's normal. O'Donnell retained ball well from Motherwell, and forward it comes there to Dixon, who's got it out to that right hand side. The Motherwell fans hoping they can come up with some sort of opportunity in front of the Celtic goal. And clearly, unless there's some kind of miracle, not going to win this match, so it will be a record in this fixture of 34 games without victory against Celtic, but they would absolutely take a point from this position. But it's going to be a Celtic free kick down on the near side as the final few seconds of the 90th minute tick away, and Ralston is over it. Some Motherwell fans heading the exits.
I don't know about Motherwell in that situation there. They had about 3, 4, 5 passes. Would you not play it forward to your strikers at that point in time when you have two up front and see if you can actually get some sort of something out of this game?
And they had 2 or 3 opportunities to do it, but they keep coming back, and then the goalkeeper with his left foot has to try and kick it 70 yards. It's strange.
Scales across the halfway line, rolls it out to Jota. Passes it back to Scales, down the left-hand side, he's level with the Motherwell penalty spot, infield to Bernardo, back to his countryman Jota, gets the cross ball in, it's headed away by Payton, only as far as Ralston. In stoppage time here, 4 minutes confirmed incidentally, we are 30, almost 40 seconds into the first minute of it. Ralston goes back to Carter Vickers, Rangers still leading Ross County 4-0, that game will be drawing to a conclusion as well. Ralston picks up and finds McGregor back into his own half for Carter Vickers. Squares it to Trusty. Out to the left for Liam Scales. To Jota. Lovely touch now. Jota running at O'Donnell. Jota, it's the step overs again. Left hand side of the box, gets to the byline, but his cross goes too close to Balcom at his near post. He holds on. Motherwell still alive in this game. Just under 3 minutes for them to try and find an equaliser.
You've got to get it into an area where, that's the one.
Payton took too long, and then he's rolled it out to the right for O'Donnell, whose long ball's easily cut out by Trusty. McGregor hoists it clear up to halfway. Maida tries to control. The Motherwell fans thought he did so with a hand. The referee disagrees. Celtic have it on this right hand side with Ralston coming across the halfway line into the Motherwell half. Maida's made a move ahead of him. He plays it instead back to Bernardo. Feeds it back into the centre circle for Trusty, and now it's with Carter Vickers to Austin Trusty. Celtic so close to another victory, and another box tick towards the defence of their latest title. Ralston to Engels with Yang on the touchline. Engels instead turns back the way, then turns back out to this near side. Under pressure he is. And Dixon moves now out with Bernardo. Sit back there to Engels, but he can't return the favour, and Motherwell are able to clear, and it will be picked up by Carter Vickers. Motherwell don't have an out ball. They've not had an out ball for much of this second half, in truth, and to be fair, Armstrong gave them that in the first. There's Ralston on this near side, minute and a half left, 2-1 to Celtic. The little flick from Yang down the line for Engels. The slide challenge puts it out for a Celtic throw-in on the near side. Looks like the horse is bolted for the Steelmen, Stephen.
Yeah, they haven't had enough in the second half. They put so much into the game, but they don't have the energy, they don't have the quality. They made so many wrong choices in the last 5 or 10 minutes when they should be playing the ball forward just to try and stretch the game. But ultimately, a 2-1 defeat looks as if it's going to be on the cards, and I don't think they deserve them out of the game, Liam.
Home to Ross County, away to Dundee United, and at home to Dundee. Those are Motherwell's remaining February fixtures. As Carter Vickers plays it out to this right-hand side, Ralston down the line for Engels. He's got Yang ahead of him, looks to play it through towards Maida. Maida's in. Maida, who scored in the first minute, plays it across, and Jota slides it home. The returning hero, the traditional right fist raised in front of the Celtic supporters in celebration. Jota is back, and it's Motherwell 1, Celtic 3.
Well, just a combination of passing from Carter Vickers, goalkeeper Carter Vickers, up this right hand side, and then once that ball's playing behind, and when it wasn't cut out, Maeda's through, and he makes the right choice, I think, across the goal, and Jota had very little to do, just put his foot on the ball and knock it into the back of the net. But it is, of course, it's your first game back and you score. It's a fairy tale for him, probably, and the fans are very happy, as you can hear.
We've been asking for Motherwell to play the ball forward and put the ball in behind, because you never know, something might come of it. And there you go, a ball over the top, aiming for Dyson Maeda. Liam Gordon doesn't cut it out, he gets himself in the wrong position, and suddenly there's a goal at the end of it. So as much as Celtic, for all their passing football and all the intricate play, a ball over the top causes all sorts of problems and showed Motherwell how to do it.
So goal's good, Jota's off the mark. There's the full-time whistle. It's practically the last kick of the ball. It is a final score then of Motherwell 1, Celtic 3. Let's get the closing stages at Ibrox as Rangers romp towards 3 points. Celtic winners here by 2-1. It is Stephen Thompson and Thomas Duncan at Ibrox.
After Tierney's shot was saved,